Super Bowl 41, 14 years ago. Why am I going to talk about it? Because it featured the best halftime of all time. So let's get on it right now. Hey everybody, Chris King here with Love Live Music. Thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time, I'm so excited that you found me. If you have a minute, please click subscribe or like the video or leave me a comment. If you've been here before, you're probably wondering, where have I been? Because I haven't posted a video in like 10, 11 days at this point. Well, your boy had surgery. And I'm okay right now. I'm still in recovery. But listen to the experts when they tell you you are going to hurt for several days, because they ain't lying. What I want to talk about today is Super Bowl 41, Miami, Florida. You got the Chicago Bears. You've got the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning against Rex Grossman. Listen. For starters, I'm a Bears fan. I've always been a Bears fan. It was super great for me to watch the Bears in the Super Bowl. But more than that, as I've told you before, and if you know me personally, you know I'm a huge Prince fan. For decades, I would refer to myself as the biggest Prince fan in my state. Granted, it's like 3.5 million people that live here, but I still think that I was at the top of Prince fans. I don't talk about Prince as much as I should on my YouTube channel. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm saving some stories or I'm saving some things that I want to review, which leads me to my video right now. Prince played halftime of the Super Bowl. And if you're watching my video, I know you're aware of this. And chances are you may have seen it before. I certainly watched it live when it happened. Like I said, Bears fan. Game started off great. Bears returned the opening kickoff. We're up. Ultimately, we lose the game. But all of that is forgotten because Prince played halftime of the Super Bowl. And this is such a monster opportunity and a huge stage. And in 2007, I wouldn't necessarily say that Prince's worldwide popularity was at its peak. And he was consistently releasing great material, but we just hadn't seen him on a really large stage. Of course, nothing as large as the Super Bowl. There's got to be 50 million people watching this gig at the same time. And that's what I was doing, standing in the living room of my parents' house, watching this unfold. So how does it start? Well, it starts off with a huge explosion, right? And then we go into Prince being lifted hydraulically up onto the stage. The stage is his symbol, right? The Prince symbol that you're very familiar with. The stage is that outlined in white-ish, blue-ish LED looking lights. Very cool, very slick, very not understated, but it was perfect. Small band setup in the middle. Prince raises up after the intro, which I believe was a "We Will Rock You" kind of callback with some other Prince chant at the time, which escapes me. He comes up on the stage. Dearly beloved, we're going to start Let's Go Crazy, because if you've got 10, 12 minutes to see Prince in a stage like this, you want to hear the greatest Prince that you can hear in that small amount of time. So Let's Go Crazy is an obvious starting point. It wasn't a traditional version of the song. Don't believe he played all of the verses, circled back to the chorus a couple of times, did a thing that I've heard him do live multiple times, where he does the go crazy, go, 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 go. And then in the middle, great guitar part where he's doing a little like a chunka chunka, chunka 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 on the guitar, which sounds phenomenal. Guitar solo towards the end. maybe even 2 solos in Let's Go Crazy. That's okay. Prince could stand and solo all day long. Coming out of that, we've got a marching band that comes onto the field. I don't know where they're from. They were wearing red and white. I'm guessing they were from a college in the Miami area. Speaking of Miami, I thought it was great that Prince is wearing the colors of the Miami Dolphins, right? He's wearing a slick, light blue suit with some orange underneath. I mean, the guy has always been an impeccable dresser, so this was no different. He, of course, is going to look sharp, and he looked as sharp as he's ever looked. I mean, was this the most compelling 12 minutes of Prince that I've ever seen? Maybe so. Maybe that's how most of the world feels. Certainly, it was the greatest halftime that I've ever seen. The marching band comes out onto the field. As I was saying, the marching band comes out onto the field doing the intro, although it shows them, and I can't necessarily hear them playing until later in the set, but we hear the intro to 1999. Everybody gets hyped up. It's the keyboard. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe they are playing it. Maybe the horns are playing that as they're coming out onto the field. And then, boom, we go into Baby I'm a Star. First of all, that comes out of left field a little bit. I'm super glad that he played that, but if I had my pick sheet before this show, I probably would have said, Let's Go Crazy, Kiss, some oddity, and Purple Rain. So Baby I'm a Star, maybe that was the oddity. I thought that was a little bit out of left field, but I enjoyed it. And then we go further into left field with a little bit of Proud Mary. It's like, that's interesting. I think he's doing the Tina Turner version more so than the Creedence Clearwater version. From there, we turn it back around briefly to the end of Baby I'm a Star, guitar switch, and he starts with just him on the guitar all along the Watchtower. Excellent choice. A song that's mostly attributed to Jimi Hendrix. Probably the only other person that I can think of that you would say has Prince's guitar style. You know, Jimi Hendrix, greatest guitar player of all time. Prince, one of the absolute greatest guitar players of all time, and probably learned a lot. Certainly sonically sounds a lot like Hendrix in several instances throughout his career. And I mean that in the most loving way. Then let's go further into left field, because from all along the Watchtower, we drop into Foo Fighters' Best of You. And I remember when I was watching this, I was like, is he doing a Foo Fighters song? Where did that come from? I have no idea. And I've read the story in recent years where Dave Grohl talks about jamming with Prince, and that, you know, who knows where this came from, but interesting nonetheless. Then the cameras go back far on the stadium, and you see the stadium, and you hear the opening chords, and you know what's coming. That Purple Rain is, of course, going to be how we're going to close this sucker. And man, it is pouring down rain by the time he starts. And he takes a microphone off of the mic stand, and he takes a few steps down the length of the cymbal stage that he's rocking. And, you know, it's raining so hard, man. And he gets just a couple of lines into it, and you see he's wearing like a do-rag, and he takes his do-rag, whips it off, and throws it into the crowd. I would like to see where that is now. Who caught Prince's do-rag? I would like to have that, or I'd like to know the story on it, right? But then we go through Purple Rain. He's got this great visual effect of this large white that looks like a sail or a large sheet that's got wind blowing on it, and he's silhouetted behind it with his guitar, the funky guitar, the one with like the horns looking things coming out of it. So he's silhouetted in such a way that it's really kind of a phallic imagery going on, which of course is a lot of Prince type imagery through the years. And you know, about halfway through the song, you start to hear the horns from the marching band that's on the field. I don't know if they're just now turning up their volume or if they've been hot the whole time and I just haven't heard it. But you start hearing them play along with the, you know, the hoo, hoo, hoo. And he's doing call and response with the stadium. And it's just such a moment to see our guy, Prince, 5'4", soaking wet, standing there on that stage, soaking it in, getting soaked, calling back to the people in the stadium. Fireworks go off. It's the end. And I wonder, 2021, everything that we've all been through, let's imagine if he were still alive, could he play stadiums? Would he tour stadiums? What have we missed in these 5 years? Absolutely one of the greatest Prince performances I've ever seen. I've seen a couple. When I went 4 years ago, I went to the first celebration after his death, the weekend celebrating the 1 year anniversary of his death. I went to Minneapolis and I spent 4 days at Paisley Park with the Prince celebration. And they showed us concert videos there that might make me say those are better than the Super Bowl performance. I hope that they allow us all to see those performances again someday. I know the estate has that footage through the years, but Prince at the Super Bowl, I mean, that's got to be one of the top live music moments on television of the last, I mean, God, television's been around for 70 years. Listen to my dog. My dog's freaking out right now because he loves Prince, and I love Prince, and I love talking about live music. And if you do, you might enjoy one of these videos that's coming up right now. I'm going to go see what the dog wants, and I'll see you at a show.